In addition to limiting the number of times someone can try to guess at a password on the login page on your WordPress site, it might also be a good idea to add some additional authentication for your users. There are good reasons for this, and as I'm sure you've heard in the news, stealing passwords has become big business for malicious people on the web, and that's also the case for WordPress sites. So, to make all sites more secure, be that social media sites or email sites or anything else, adding another level of authentication has become common. And you can do that with WordPress too. When you look at the login panel for a regular WordPress site, you really don't have much of authentication. You have a username and a password, and if you can match the username to the password, you get logged in. But you can easily add another level of authentication to your site through a plugin. And the most secure way of doing that is by adding what's known as two-factor authentication. Basically, you need to have two different things in place to be able to log in. One is a username and password. The other one is some sort of other device, be that access to your email address or a smartphone or something else. The solution I like to use is called Google Authenticator. This is a free service that comes from Google, and it allows you to tie your website or anything else to an app on your phone. And then when you want to log into that website or whatever you've tied Google Authenticator to, you need to not only enter your username and password, but also enter a cycling key that appears on your smartphone at that moment. That way, in addition to having the username and password, you have to have my physical phone to be able to log into my site. Without access to my phone, you simply won't be able to gain access to the site. What does it look like? Well, on my site, when you go to the login panel, you'll see in addition to username and password, we have the third field called Google Authenticator code. And when I log in, I need to enter my username, my password, and then open my phone, go to the Google Authenticator app and get the current code and enter it within 1 minute. After a minute, the code is recycled and a new code shows up and I have to use that one instead. This makes my login panel far more secure, and it makes the limit login attempts almost irrelevant because these computers have to not only guess at a username and password, but also add this authenticator code. Now, the reason why I still keep limit login attempts in place is because I also want to divert these bots away from my computer, and locking them out will do that for me. Now, Google Authenticator is just one of several different options. Like I said, it's a service from Google, it's free, and it works really well. You can also check out another option called Duo two-factor authentication. Duo has a free model and a for-pay model, and you can use it for many things, including WordPress, but not exclusively WordPress. And you can also check out a feature from konw. They also have a WordPress plugin that ties the konw service to your WordPress site. And again, they have free and paid versions. So here you have to go and do your research. Do you like Google Authenticator best, or Duo, or konw, or maybe something else? The key is to add some sort of extra authentication to your site to ensure that it's not enough to just have your username and password. Of course, this means you actually need to have your smartphone handy to be able to log in, but this is a good level of extra authentication that will prevent malicious people from gaining access through the login panel.